All right, good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Welcome in, catching up with Tommy Mac on the 1010XL podcast platform. I don't know if I'm going to be recording in here, but I am live on Facebook. Grammage is out. Grammage is getting married tomorrow. My wife and I are going to the ceremony and the reception, spending the night in St. Augustine, so that'll be fun. Just me, myself, and I today, and I'm jacked up because I know a lot of you are out jacked up as well. What a night of the NFL draft. I mean, just incredible. Just incredible balls of steel, you could say, for the young James Gladstone, who makes a very bold move in his very first pick as the GM of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're going to talk about that, what was given up, what they're going to miss. I got my thoughts. Listen, I'm all for it. I mean, it's funny. I went into this little diatribe on Twitter, and I'm not against anything. Well, it sounded like you were against. No, I'm not against it. I wouldn't have done it. And I said before, like, I saw the rumors, like, man, I just wouldn't give up next year's first, and I really don't want to give up this year's second. But he's the best player in the draft, right? So I get it. I get it. Best player of the draft in a not a very strong draft class, so you throw that in there. Is he better than the two players that you're going to miss, right? Your 5 and then your 36 combined? I don't think he automatically makes us a contender. He's a great player. I can't wait. He's going to be exciting. I cannot wait. He's going to play both ways, mostly on offense, but a little on defense, which is great. And I mean, come on, that is revolutionary when it comes to the National Football League, right? Not many guys. The last guy to play both ways, who remembers? Who remembers? You old school remember. Brought to you by Team Tommy Mac. It's Catching Up with Tommy Mac. Go to TommyMac.net, please, and check out all these shows that I do here from the 1010XL studios and sometimes at home. And you'll see the horse's mouth on there as well. Dave Campo and I got after it yesterday. We had Coach Buddy Guys on. He told us a story about the first time he ever saw Calvin Johnson. He was 6'5", 230, as like 17-year-old, and ran a 4.31 twice. He was on the staff with Chan Gailey then. But anyway, last time two-way player is Chuck Bednarik. Yeah, from the Philadelphia Eagles. Played center and linebacker, but that hasn't been done. I'll be honest, and I could never play both ways, but me and a few of the backers, we'd like go to Coughlin and be like, hey, let us play fullback on goal line. Like we do it the other, we're taking on fullbacks when we're playing linebacker. Let us come up and lead the way. So, but this kid is special. I'm not doubting that whatsoever. And I'm not really doubting anything. I mean, look, I know people are very excited, and they should be. But to me, it's not like, okay, here we come. We got a long way to go still, in my opinion. We don't know what kind of defense we're going to have yet. We don't know how that front's going to look just yet. The offensive line, okay, I would have upgraded. There's still time. We'll go through that. There's some guys that you could definitely upgrade, interior or offensive tackle. I would. I mean, I don't think, and Trevor publicly wouldn't say this, but he's not comfortable with Walker Little as his left tackle. He may come out and say that one. Oh, I'm really comfortable. But we'll see. We'll see, because he wasn't last year, or maybe even the year before. But this is a generational pick, and if he listen, two things. If he becomes a superstar that's being talked about, and I would love to see that happen, it's a fantastic pick. If Cleveland's second first round pick next year's in the top 10, then I'm going to question. Like, I get it that you want the player. I get it you want to make a splash. I get all that. And he does make our offense better. He's another Brian Thomas, right? And maybe even, I don't know how you get faster and quicker than Brian Thomas, but okay, great. Quit generational, please. And don't put it on the kid. Don't put it on him. Forget this. We already been through it. Trevor's not generational. And either is Caleb Williams. They're not. They may have great arms and all, but they're not. That term gets thrown out there way too loosely. Reel it back in. The kid's a great player. Can't wait to see him in a Jag uniform. Can't wait to see how they use him. Can't wait to see Liam and company dial it up and get these speedy receivers. And also De'Ami Brown, get these speedy receivers into the mix. And let's see them, just give them the ball. That's all you're going to have to do, is give them he too skinny. Yeah. We'll see. I hear you, Brian. I hear you. An old friend of mine from Chicago about Travis Hunter. But look, he's dynamic. He'll make the offense better, more explosive. But you still got work to do. Trevor's got work to do to be better. The O-line's got to be better, in my opinion. And the running game. You got to figure out the running game. Look, they gave up a lot. They gave up a lot. I didn't want to, and I get it. Again, I'm not saying I'm against. I'm all for it, and I hope it all works out. And it looks good on paper. I didn't want to give up a second rounder this year, and I sure as didn't want to give up a first rounder next year or this year. Well, we kind of swap, but whatever. Next year, I didn't. We're in no position, and to me, okay, you make that move. It's bold. Gladstone sits up there and he's a little cocky with his grin and like, yeah, hey, don't be scared. I know how to navigate. Great. And I'm all for it, but it better work. It better work. You better not need that first round pick. I know the Rams did it, and that's great. And they didn't have a first round pick for years because of the kind of players and the veterans that they brought in. Okay, I get that. That's great. But that don't mean it's just going to automatically transition here. We got a lot of work to do, and I know they know that. I'm not saying they don't know that. I'm not saying that. And I'm not trying to be negative here at all, because I'm happy for the Jags. I'm happy that they got the best player in the draft. It was ballsy as hell. There's no doubt about it. Gladstones, right? You get it. I think Kay Adams threw that out there this morning. I thought it was pretty funny on Twitter. It's just, he's got to be that dynamic. I don't think he changes the league. Maybe if he plays both ways the entire time, which I don't think he'll do. Look, everyone's saying the same thing, and what they're going to do. The Bears, look, that tight end, they said, is a better receiving tight end than Warren. We'll see what happens there. He's not, I think, a grinder in your face, going to block the DN. That's interesting, and I love the Detroit pick, Tyleik Williams from Ohio State, defensive tackle. Man, we missed some guys. I mean, there's guys gone in the first round, and I looked at them. I don't like not having a second round. I think this year especially, because what they say, no blue chip, doesn't mean they can't. I went through this the other day. It doesn't mean they can't play football. They're just, they're 40 times a tenth slower, or their shuttle's a little slower, or their arm length is a little shorter, or they only bench a certain amount, just whatever. They only jump so high. They didn't jump high enough. That means you're a better football player if you jump high enough, depending on the position. It's explosion, I get it. I'm being facetious. But that's where you fall into the second and third and fourth round, right? And then here we go. Those are the ball. You got to hit on those. And listen, we don't have any in the second round right now. We have 2/3 and 2 very high fourths. The Jaguars do. The Pat Scott Campbell. I like him. Membu. It went Campbell, Membu, Banks. By the way, you know who won? You know who might have won the draft? Kansas City. Josh Simmons, very last pick of the first round. I wanted that guy here, man. But good for him. He didn't last. I know he's coming off the knee, but he is a beast. And if he didn't hurt his knee, and it's an ACL. I had an ACL in 97. I came back fine with a cadaver ligament. I was on IR. I got hurt in camp, so they put me on IR for the year. Couldn't come off. Today, 20 years later, 30 years later, nah, man, I wouldn't worry about no ACL. The patella, even too, if that was part of it. John Wade shredded his knee one year and played the next year. Shredded, ripped it to shreds. So they can fix him, man. They can fix him up. But I think that could be one of the steals of the draft. Good for, they just, How about Kenneth Grant going 13th to Miami? And I know Mason Graham went 5th still. I'm still not. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Grant played a big part in that success, being that big nose tackle. But good for Mason Graham. And by the way, you look at the Browns. I don't know who won yet. I really don't. And it depends who they pick, and if they stick there. But they get They get Mason Graham. They like him. Okay, I'm not that high on him, so maybe I don't grade it that great, but they do. And then they get number 33 and number 36 in the second round. That's 3 picks basically almost in the first round. That's pretty impressive for them. And then the next year's first rounder. And again, I know everyone's like, oh, well, it'll be later in the draft. It'll be 32. No, you're crazy if you think just by getting Travis Hunter that we're all of a sudden a contender in the AFC. I don't believe that at all. One player does not do that for me. He's going to be great. He's going to be exciting. But I don't know. Does that make the team better? Does the team get more wins just because of him? I know everyone's sitting there thinking, okay, now look what we're going to do. We're going to score 30. We hardly scored 30. Granted, new regime, so hopefully they do. They outscore their opponent. That's the name of the game. They'll have a lot of speed. Which is good. And we'll see what they do with the rest of the draft. Let's see. They gave up the second rounder today, next year's first. Swapped force. We now have 104, which is good, better than 126. They got 126, and then we get a 6th rounder, a number 10 at 200. So we'll see how it all shakes out. I do believe. Look, regardless, how do we follow that up? Yeah, I know. I've been saying his shoulders are small, man. They're not very wide at all. I think he's going to get engulfed, but we'll see. I hope they're not playing him at nose. He'll get killed. Mason Graham, that is. Mason Graham. But, look, I do think how they back it up today matters. And it matters, or not today because they're not in there. Maybe they find a way in. Maybe, I don't know, can you get there with, a couple high fourths? Can you take a third and a high fourth and get it a late second? Maybe you could do that. But there'll be guys there in the third round. There sure will. And I'll get to those in just a minute. I wanted to, because I only have to about 5 till before I go over to the radio studio and hang out with my boys, Mike Dempsey, Fat Tony, and Dylan Denmark for Jaguars Today. Come join us 10 to 12 noon, 92.5 FM or .com, so you can check it out there. Steve McMichael passed from ALS, a terrible disease, as we all know. 4 years since diagnosis. So sad. What a giant of a man. I got to meet him once. I wrote about it. I think I put it on Twitter. And it's great. So growing up in Chicago or the suburbs, the Bears were our heroes. I mean, Walter Payton came to my school a few times. We would see, guys out and about. We knew people that would babysit for Mark Bortz, the offensive lineman. Virgil Livers, a DB, lived on, in middle class stuff, just behind us. They were around. Al Harris, we'd see him running, on our football field. So the Bears, we love the Bears. So we'd go to their training. My best friend growing up and my great friend today, Brendan Kelly, a day apart, July 29th, July 30th, all we wanted to do was go to the Bears training camp, and then we go to pizza. And back then, you could get right up on the rope. I mean, you could just stand there. And they let everybody do it. I'll never forget, I was talking to my brother about it the other day. Golden Richards, remember Golden Richards came from Dallas to the Bears? He quick out, catches the ball right in front of me. I say, nice catch. He says, thanks, kid. I remember it like it was yesterday, but the Bears were our heroes. And when they won the Super Bowl, it was absolutely magical. It was. And I'm 15 years old at the time. I had the Black and Blues Brothers poster. That offensive line, they were mean and nasty. They so work over, and Hilgenberg and Bortz and all those big guys. They were Van Horn. They were incredible. Thayer. They were just incredible. Walter, McMahon. I mean, they just had it all. The defense, the linebackers. Oh, my gosh. Wilbur and Otis and Mike Singletary and the defensive line with McMichael and Hampton. Got to meet Richard Dent once. I was just, gosh, these guys just larger than life. So 1997, during training camp, early in training camp, the ECW, the Wrestling Federation, they have an event at the old arena. And I wanted to go with a couple guys. Could we go and get backstage? So we get backstage passes. I'll never forget this as long as I live. We get backstage passes to ECW, and you get back there, and all the major stars are there. Ric Flair's there. He's got his comb in his outfit, and he's pulling it out, and he's going woohoo, woohoo. Backstage, Benoit, little guy but all jacked up. He's got the the rubber band with the handles, and he's doing curls, everyone's all jacked up. And I just want to meet Mongo. I don't care about all the, not that I didn't care, but he's the one I want to talk to. He's kind of hanging on the back wall, I think he might even had a cigar in it. It wasn't lit, but chewing on it. I walk up to him, and I tell him who I am and where I'm from and how much I love those guys, all this stuff. And I said to him, listen, I heard a story that the night before you guys won the Super Bowl, when you trounced the Patriots, you were in a defensive meeting with your teammates, and out of nowhere, you just picked up a chair and whipped it so hard that it stuck in the blackboard. I'm like, is that true? And he looked at me and he goes, that was absolutely true. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's like legendary, you know? Anyway, what a night. We didn't even watch the wrestling from what I remember. We stood on the floor for a little bit. Couldn't really see anything, so I don't think we stayed very long. We had camp. But what a great moment to meet Steve McMichael, one of our heroes growing up. But God bless him, man. God bless his family. Just a horrible disease. I mean, it's amazing. There are diseases out there that can take away your brain and leave your body okay. And then there's the vice versa, where your body goes, but your brain stays. We'll find out why. We'll find out why one day. But God bless you, Mongo. You were awesome. What a guy. What a guy. Shedeur Sanders slides out of the first round. Even the Giants trade back up, not to grab him, but to grab Jackson Dart. And, they're wondering where Shedeur's going to land. I don't know. You know how I felt about him early. I watched him throw. He seemed like he can make all the throws. Maybe they don't like the attitude. I really don't know. I got to assume he goes in the second round. I got to think. I know there's others out there, right? Jalen Milroe from Alabama's moving up. I like the McCord kid. I watched him a couple times with Qs. I think I don't know if I take him in the second round, but I like him. I think he could be a QB. It'll be interesting with Shedeur, man. I don't know. Can he go back to school? They make a lot of money at Colorado. They make a lot of money at Colorado, but nonetheless, it is what it is. And it was an exciting night. Look, some very interesting picks. Jalon Walker falls to 15. Some had him at 5, right? But he's a fantastic off-ball linebacker who can rush. Emeka Egbuka, how about that? Everyone's second round, 19th to Tampa. That's a great one. Donovan Jackson, I like that. I like the Ohio State offensive lineman. You know, and here's something now. I got to hold myself in check here. If Donovan Jackson, first rounder, and Simmons, first rounder, Ohio State, a good line, right? That's how you go about it. At least I do. I remember the guys I went against. The real good ones went to the NFL. The okay ones didn't, which is okay. I'm just saying in factual. So maybe Mason Graham is that good. You know, did he beat up Donovan Jackson? You know, the big guard. Minnesota goes for a big guard. So that was interesting. I mentioned Tyleek. I think he's going to be a really good D tackle. He's going to fit in great in Detroit. And James Pierce, he's another second pick in the first round for Atlanta. So they got themselves some speed on the edge, that's for sure. And then where do we go from here if you're the Jags? No second rounder. 2/3, kind of spread out a little bit, not that by that much. And then 2 high fourth rounders. So maybe you could do something there. I think there's going to be some really good football players still in the third round where we'll be near picking. There's a couple defensive tackles. Alfred Collins from Texas, defensive tackle. Omar Norman Lott, we heard me talk about him out of Tennessee. He may go a little higher, though. He's a beast. The edge from Michigan I like, Josiah Stewart. Now, granted, playing with Mason Graham, playing with Kenneth Grant made his job a little easier, but maybe coming off the bench, you might need him. O-line, I love Ozzie Trapillo from Boston College, 6'8", 320-pound right tackle, could play guard, but not that you need him to. Tate Ratledge, guard out of Georgia. He might go a little higher, but he could be a nice fit. And that Scatabo kid, there's a bunch of running backs. I don't have all the names, but I know Scatabo's, he definitely in the third round, if you can grab him. I may take him there. So, look, a ballsy move, a bold move, an exciting night. I'm happy that all the Jag fans are happy, and I'm happy. I really am. I'm to the point, like, I got to see it now. I'm tired of the hype. The hype's going to be through the roof, and it's deserved. I'm not saying it's not. It was deserved for Trevor coming out of college. I mean, he was a total stud. Number one pick, consensus. There's not a team that wouldn't have taken him number one. And he's been okay. I'm not saying he's not been okay or good. I don't think he's been good enough, but got to be better. Got to be better. So I'm not, you look at ETN. What did ETN do at Clemson? Broke away from everybody. Nobody ever caught ETN. Guess what? They catch him in the NFL. Unless he's, 40 and in or something like that. Tank's got a little more burst than that. So you just never know. You never know. Now, granted, this kid's special. I heard what Tony said about it. I heard what Log said about him. I know they watch it in-depthly. I don't stay up for Pac-12 games. I never will. I don't know. If it's on and I'm out late, yeah, sure. By the way, I was at Strings last night for the draft, for the early part of the draft, and I'll tell you what, man, it was pretty cool. All you fans, you went nuts. The place erupted. And I'm sure it did everywhere, but just from where I was sitting on Penman Road in Jacksonville Beach, man. First time in there, too. Cool spot. I can see why people like going in there. It's really big and wide open. A lot of TVs. I don't like the whole how you got to order in this, but whatever. That's their motto. It's cool. They're great people. They know what they're doing. And it's a really clean and cool place. But it erupted, man. Again, it's good. It's good. I get why you did it. But now you just got to win, man. And by the way, there's not for me. You can do whatever you want out there, but you don't get a year. You don't get 2 years. No, you got to win now. Not that I'm doing anything, but we're not a 4-win team. We're not come on. You make these bold moves. Hey, Jag fans, don't worry. I know what I'm doing, right? I know how to navigate without a first. And he I'm not saying he's speaking untruths. A little cocky for the GM, but whatever, man. It was a bold-ass move. And that takes a lot of guts, so it's stones. No doubt. And I do think he's going to be electrifying. I do think it's going to be exciting. I heard Hicken playing the what Warren Sapp said about him, how he always wants the ball. He's going to have to learn how to share. You know what I mean? Going to have to learn how to share. Who's that, Roddy? Hey, Roddy, what's happening, brother? Good to see you, my man. He's going to have to learn to share, He's got other guys that need the ball as well. And I'll tell you one thing I really do want to see, because you watch Brian Thomas Jr. up close and in person, and you're like, what the heck? Are you like, this guy's unbelievable. How fast. I mean, Calvin Ridley was like that too. I want to see how much different Travis Hunter is. I mean, is he that more quicker? Is he that much faster? I know he's great with the football. I know he's great in space. It's going to be interesting, man. And right now, it looks great. But if that's a high pick to Cleveland next year, it's not. I'm not going to like that. That's not. No. You make this move because you feel like, A, he's number one, which he is in the class. But you make it because you feel like this is the missing piece or one of the missing pieces that'll take us to the promised land. So now we got to see it. Now it's got to happen. But I want to see the rest. So you can't, I'm not even, what do I give it a grade? I'll give it a grade. I give it an A grade. I do. Because it took a lot of stones to do it. He is the best player in the draft by far. So yeah, I'll give him an A for doing that. Now back it up, right? Let's see what you do the rest of the draft. And let's see what you do on the field. Because at the end of the day, if you don't win, nobody wins. And I don't care, how many touchdowns that Travis Hunter scores if it doesn't better our win column. It won't matter to me, And it look, I'm a firm believer. Not one guy changes anything. Not one player is going to. You're not all of a sudden a contender based on, at least from Jacksonville's standpoint, how they're built right now. You're not one player away. You're multiple players away. And we don't even know the system. We're just assuming it's going to work. We're just assuming that, Campanile knows what he's doing, right? We're just assuming that Liam and Udinski are going to bring what they did in Tampa and a little bit of L.A. and, it's just going to transition night. I mean, that's the goal. But does it happen? It's got to happen. It's got to happen. And it should happen. I think it will. I want to see who they grab. I hope they build up that line. If I'm them, I'm telling you, I want Trevor as comfortable as possible. There's no way he's comfortable with the way it is right now. And if you went down the line today, who's slated to start? Tell me where the upgrade is. Tell me is Hainsley better than Mitch Morse? I wouldn't say that. No, I don't think that's fair to say. Mitch had been a starter for a long time. De'Ami Brown and Parker Washington, Sonny, they'll do good. You know what I mean? So, anyway, I lost my train of thought on that. Sonny messed me up. If you want to remind me what I was saying, I'd really appreciate it. But anyway, on paper, it looks good. Now we got the offensive line. So go through them, right? The center, I don't think is upgraded. Macari, I would say upgraded 68 Sheriff. But I like Sheriff. But he's on the end, so it's an upgrade. He's younger, he's physical, so is Brandon. Just different parts of their career. So I'll say the right guard's upgraded. Right tackle's Anton. We don't know what we're going to get. Left guard's Ezra. I like Ezra. And I thought Ezra had a good year last year. I did. I thought he showed a lot of aggressiveness, was physical and whatnot. And then you got Walker, who, you know how I feel about that. It's okay. It's okay. So there's your line. Now, you've got the guy from Dallas and the guy from the old Florida Gator. But they've only partially started. Can they beat out our guys to start? Maybe. You got Cole Van Laan in there, who I like. And I'd play at guard. I would. I'd get him a shot at guard. One of the guards. But we got to add to that, in my opinion. We need more. Number one goal. Okay, he gave Trevor another weapon. Great. A back-breaking weapon. Game breaker. No doubt. But you got to get him protected. Or he's going to go into his little thing that he went into. And I don't. The injuries were part of it. There's no doubt. But injuries are part of football. But he lost that faith in that line. And I don't blame him. But he lost faith in that line. So we got to get that faith back. He can't be feeling the pressure. He can't be escaping too early, which he did last year. Can't be throwing flat-footed. Got to do some things to clean up his game. If they do that, it'll help. But you still got to protect him. And you still got to have an O-line that can open some holes for these backs. And we'll see if they add a back. I would like to see more O-linemen. A little more beef, man. You got 10, what do you got, 10 picks still, 8 picks still, 9 picks? No, 8 picks, I guess, right? I don't know how many 6 they got. They got 3 or 4. 3? They got plenty. So, it's a great time to be excited because it did take a lot of guts. You did get the number 1 player to draft. There's nothing wrong with that. Now it's just a matter of, look, how do you back it up? What are you presenting? And how are you going to coach these guys? How are you going to motivate them? How are you going to keep them held accountable? How are you going to win with them? How are you going to win? Because that's, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. And if you don't win, you're gonna face the ridicule. You will. And I don't want to hear that he's the best player in the next 5 or 10 drafts. You don't know that. Nobody. Sir, was so quick to throw out these generational, and oh my gosh, I mean, we've been through it here in Jacksonville. Just knock it off. Let the kid just be great and go play the way you play. And I like what Travis is saying. I do. I like his demeanor. I like his story. I like the way he plays. I think he's going to be great advocate for the Jags. I think all that is awesome. There's no doubt about it. But it better be for the betterment of the entire organization to win games. And I know that's the idea, but it better work out to be that. And look, it's a team game, so you got to get that defense. We need another defensive tackle. I would like that Norman Lott, I think, or the other kid from Texas. They're big dudes. We need some beef in there, man. Need some beef. I think Mason Smith gets a little too high to play nose. Got to keep him at 3, in my opinion. I don't think Jefferson is big enough to play nose. Now, granted, when you're in a four-man rush and it's nickel, you're not on the nose and you're not doing a lot of double team. A little bit, center's going to chip. But a lot of times the center just goes right up to the backer because he's by himself, in the run game kind of deal. So, but I think we need a little bit more beef. Xavier Watts out of Notre Dame, I remember watching him, the safety. He could be interesting in that third round. Could use another safety, use another corner or two. Let those guys compete. You got some young guys on the roster still, obviously, at that position, but let's bring in some more. And, let's see what happens, man. I hope it happens, I really do. I mean, look, we're all for it. And now let's back it up. So 2 third-round picks and 2 fourth-round picks. And we'll smile. So today's second and third round, and then you got 4 through 7 on Sunday or Saturday. I'll be down in St. Augustine with my beautiful bride for Gramage's wedding. Gramage getting married. I'm really proud of the kid. He's a nice young man. I love what he brings to the table for the show. And he's a good guy. So I wish him and Mal, they're the best. And looking forward to celebrating. And what else do I got going on? The new Horse's Mouth is out. Go to TommyMac.net if you would, please. You'll see this show. You'll see the Horse's Mouth latest. You'll see Team Tommy Mac. I love him, man. Morgan & Morgan, Chris Lucero's Bail Bonds, Carpetman Flooring, J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling, Azar Sausage, Freedom Finance, Baracus Group, Code Ninjas, Family Tradition Specialty Foods, Newmark Phoenix Realty Group, and Salt Air Inn and Suites. I got room for more. If you're interested, just send me a message on Facebook. I talk about you here, and you're on TommyMac.net, and you're all over social media. I want to thank Team Tommy Mac for powering Catching Up with Tommy Mac, because without them, I wouldn't be able to do the show, and I greatly appreciate them. And they're always there for you. Getting in trouble, getting hurt, need flooring, need food, need a place to stay, need a camp for your kids, need commercial real estate help, need some hot sauces, need some protection for you and your family, need some financial assistance. Yeah, absolutely. Get out of jail. Yeah, man, I got you covered. I'll take care of you, man, because I appreciate each and every one of you. And I know we all want the same thing. We all want the Jags to win. And we all have these opinions. We all got this stuff. And at the end of the day, all that matters is that one-loss column. And that's what they'll be held to, and that's what they should be held to, because when you win, everybody wins, including you fans. And you deserve it. There's no doubt about it. So hopefully the new regime, a sexy pick, which is great. I love it. I love that you went up and got it. I don't like what you gave up, but whatever. If you win, nobody cares, right? Think about that. If you win, I don't care about that first-round pick as much. If we don't win, I'm going to care about that first-round pick. I'm going to want it. I mean, if we finish whatever and we're in the top 10 again or top 12 of the NFL draft, I'm going to want that pick. I would. They say next year's going to be better. The next top 30 are going to be better. Who knows? They say this class is weak. I don't know what that means. Because blue chip, it just means they're fast, big, and strong. It doesn't mean they're great football players and they're going to transition right into the NFL. A lot of those guys that went last night, you won't hear hardly anything about them. You know what I mean? They'll be just players. They won't be superstars. They'll just be good players, and some won't even be on the damn team. You know what I mean? So you never know until you get them in. I think this kid's going to be great. Now let's back it up with a great rest of the 2025 draft class. All right, I got to go. Radio duties, baby. And, oh, by the way, if you're in the area, Belfort, Salisbury, you know my friend Kevin Porter, who played Laser in Underdog, right? He's my good friend. Does all my filming. He's got Iconic Innovations, does all my productions. He opened up a sub shop, Hollywood Subs, over in Belfort and Salisbury area. I'm going there today around 12:30. To wish him congratulations, and I think he made a Tommy Mac sub or is going to or something like that. So check it out. I know he had a soft opening yesterday, grand opening tomorrow. I can't make it, so I'm going today, but check out Hollywood Subs there in that Belfort area. All right, guys, y'all have a great day. Peace and love to y'all. Go Jags, go whoever team you're rooting for. Bears, I'll keep an eye on you. You're my second favorite, but Jags all the way for me, man, and all I care about is winning a championship so me and you and all of us can have a great celebration celebrating a great organization. Till next time, stay safe and be cool out there and have a great, great weekend. We'll see you right here. Catching Up with Tommy Mac. Peace and love, everybody. Thank you so much for a great day.